Hey you guys, so today's video is not going to be a makeup related video. It's going to be all about my hair, hence why I actually made an effort to make it look good today. Don't know if I succeeded. I honestly spent like an hour, maybe a little bit longer curling it, and I'm dying of heat right now, so if you see me visibly sweating, that's why. So the question that I by far get asked the most, even out of like makeup related questions, is how do I dye my hair and what dye do I use? All of that kind of stuff. So I figured, and I try to answer as often as I can whenever somebody asks me that, but I figured it'd be easier just to make a video dedicated to it. So the majority of this video is going to be how I dye my hair. I filmed it so you guys can see exactly how I do it and what I use, but the first half of this is actually going to be like a Q&A type thing about my hair because I asked you guys if you had any questions, whether it's related to dye or not, and I got quite a few on my Instagram, so I'm just going to read them off here. If you're not interested in the Q&A part, I will put a timestamp thing down below so you guys can see where the hair dye tutorial starts. Okay, so I'm just going to get into the questions. The first one is, what is your natural hair color? My natural hair color is blonde, but I haven't seen it in honestly probably like 10 years. I've been dyeing my hair for a long time, but I'm assuming by how my roots look when they grow out that it's like a mousy blonde. Next question is, what hair color do you use to dye it and how do you keep it healthy? I'm going to save all of the hair dye questions for when I actually do the dye tutorial at the second half of this video, but I will tell you right now that I get them from Sally Beauty Supply and I use the Ion Color Brilliance brand. And as far as keeping it healthy, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really do anything. My hair is not that healthy. I don't know if you guys can tell just by looking in the video, but it's pretty dead and dry. So I think that's just from bleaching it so much when I was younger, but I just deep condition it maybe once every 2 weeks and that's about it. Don't really do anything else. Ooh, I like this next one. How many different hair colors have you had and what is your favorite? From a fellow Harry Potter fan. I love you. I've had a lot of, let me just tell you, grab a cup of coffee because this is going to be a long story. I've basically been obsessed with dyeing my hair since I was like 8 or 9. Funny story, so I'm a natural blonde. I don't know if you can tell by the roots, they haven't really quite grown out yet, but I saw Josie and the Pussycats back in the day when I was in 4th grade and I was like, Mom, please let me dye my hair red. That was the first time I ever dyed my hair red. I was so excited when she finally let me do it because I wanted to look like the main girl. I kind of had a girl crush. So I went from natural blonde to red, and then I think my mom, like after a couple months, dyed my hair back to kind of a natural looking color, and then I let it grow out a bit. And then I had, oh god, trip down memory lane. In like 9th grade, I bleached my hair so blonde and I cut it like right here and I layered it. I was a scene kid, you guys. If I had any of my older pictures I would show you, but I'm pretty sure that I deleted all evidence of when I was like 15. So really short choppy blonde hair, and then I thought it was a great idea to get black extensions. And then I dyed my hair brown, kind of like a natural brown color when I grew out of that phase, thank God. And after that, I went back to blonde for a while, and then I did like a dirty blonde color, and then about 4 years ago, I went back to brown, and then that's when I was like, I'm tired of brown, I want to go back to blonde, which I wish I just stayed at the blonde because now I really want blonde hair again. Got my hair dyed blonde at the salon, and I was tired of it after like 2 days, so I dyed my hair purple by myself, and then blue, and you guys might remember that if you've been following my Instagram for like a long time, but after that, that's when I went to the salon to get my hair dyed this color. So to answer your question, too many hair colors. Next question is, how often do I have to re-dye it? I dye my hair probably once every 2 months. My roots grow in really quickly and they're blonde, so it looks like I'm balding and I can barely stand that. If I had the patience, I would probably dye my hair once a month, but I'm also lazy, so once every 2 months. Next question is, how do you keep it looking so luscious and healthy? Are there any products you recommend for growing your hair? Extensions. This is not all my real hair. I wish it was. I mostly wear them just because I want my hair to look thicker. So I have a video all about my extensions, so if you want you can go watch that. I uploaded it like a year ago. So this is how long my extensions are, and then my normal hair is about 2 inches shorter. Like I said, I just wear it for the volume, so that's how I make my hair look really nice and full, like in photos and stuff. And then most of the time in pictures I like to bring it all to one side, and like before I take pictures I go like this a lot and fluff up my hair. It's all an illusion. I've never taken any supplements for growing hair or used any products for growing it, so I don't know about that. If any of you guys know, like if you have any tips for growing hair, let me know down in the comments so we can answer that. Do you color it yourself? If so, how do you do it? I mostly, not gonna lie, I go over to my parents' house and have my mom help me do it because I am incapable of getting like the back of my hair perfectly, even though I don't care if it looks perfect or not. Usually my mom is like up to do it, so I go over there and she does it for me. But in this video, obviously, you guys will see how I do it. Next question is, what do you use to help with any damage you get from coloring? Honestly, I've noticed that I don't really have any damage to my hair after dyeing it this color, and I never really have experienced that. Obviously, when you lighten your hair, you'll get some damage just because that's what bleach does, but at least in my experience, when I dye my hair a dark color, it doesn't really do anything. Next question is, I think I've heard you say you straighten your hair. What's your real hair texture, and do you ever wear it like that? My real hair texture is really interesting. When I was young, up until I was about 13 probably, I had like ringlets. When I would just let it air dry, it would be really, really pretty, perfect curls. Don't know what happened, don't know why it happened, but for some reason, the bottom layer of my hair dries completely straight, and then this top layer dries curly. So it looks like I have some kind of mullet going on, and it's not cute, so I don't wear it out like that very often. How do I style it? So I have a straightener and then 2 curling wands that I like to use on a daily basis. The straightener is this one by NewMe. I honestly have no idea what kind it is. I can't remember. I got it like a little over a year ago, but I'll try to do some research and find out the name of it and list it down in the description box. And then going with that, my favorite hair wand is the NewMe 3-in-1. This was from the Curl Jam set. So it comes with 3 different size barrels, but this is the only one I use. It's the medium size. This is my favorite out of the 2 I have because I just really like how it makes my curls look. And then this is the Revlon. I don't know the name of it, but I got this at Target or Fred Meyer for like $10 or $15. It's really cheap and it held up really well. I've had it for a while and it does a really good job. What shampoo conditioner do you use? I'm having a hard time finding one that doesn't strip my red hair. That's a good question. I'm not really a hair expert, so I don't know much about like the best shampoos or conditioners. The shampoo I use is the Nexxus Color Assure. I really like this, don't really have much to say about it. I don't notice that it strips my hair too much. Always, after I dye my hair, the first couple washes, the water will turn red because there's still some excess dye in there. But other than that, I think that's doing a pretty good job. And then the conditioner I use is the Redken Smooth Lock Conditioner, and I've had this for a while now. I got this at the salon, so it was pretty spendy, and I'm not going to repurchase it, but I mean, it's okay. It's not like the best thing ever. I do have the deep conditioner of this as well, which I really like, but probably not going to repurchase them. Alright, so I'm pretty sure that was all of the questions, and now I'm going to get into the tutorial part, so I hope you guys enjoy. Just a quick disclaimer, obviously I'm not a professional when it comes to dyeing hair or anything like that. I do what works for me, so you do what works for you, but this is how I dye my hair, so just keep watching if you're interested. So here's everything I use when I dye my hair. First of all, a leak-proof applicator bottle, an applicator brush, a regular comb, some reusable gloves, and then I mix 2 dyes to get my color, and I actually do use both of these boxes on my hair because I have a lot of hair. This first one is the Ion Color Brilliance Light Burgundy Brown, and this is a 2-ounce liquid permanent formula. And then I mix it with Black Cherry, which is a 2-ounce cream demi-permanent. It's okay that the formulas are different. I would use a permanent liquid version of Black Cherry if they had it, but they don't. You just need to work a little harder at mixing the 2 together since this one is a thicker cream. And then I also mix in 4 ounces of 20 volume developer, and then I do like to have one of those bowls handy to place my brushes and combs in if I need to. So this applicator bottle is marked with ounces up the sides, so I pour the entire first liquid bottle of dye in, which will hit the 2-ounce mark where my thumb is right there. And then it's kind of hard to squeeze all of the cream dye out, but you just have to warm it up a bit in your hands and then you should get it all out. Just make sure it reaches the 4-ounce mark. And then I just pour that entire 4-ounce bottle of developer in, so I use a 1-to-1 ratio of dye to developer, so 4 ounces total of dye and 4 ounces total of developer. So you want to make sure that you twist the cap on super tightly and definitely cover up the tip with your finger when you start to shake it so it doesn't go everywhere. It'd be easier to mix them up in the bowl, but in my opinion it's a lot easier to apply with the applicator bottle. So anyways, I just start off by applying dye around the perimeter of my face because my roots have grown in a lot, and since I have naturally blonde hair, I want the dye to stay on my roots the longest so that they darken up enough to match the rest of my hair. So I just squeeze it on with the applicator bottle and then I rub it in with my hands, and then sometimes I just switch between rubbing it in with my hands and using the brush to kind of disperse it evenly. And if you're worried about staining your skin, you can always apply some Vaseline around your hairline, but I'm lazy and I find that this dye comes off actually pretty easily in the shower. And then I just make sure to get those baby hairs around my ears because they're kind of almost invisible, so it's hard to see, but I make sure that I really rub that dye in there so they're not like baby blonde compared to the rest of my red hair. And then when I'm done with the hairline, I take the handle of the brush and I use that to part my hair where I normally part it. And then once I get the hair separated, I will squeeze some of that dye along that part. And then I just spread it over my roots with the brush. And I only spread it out about an inch or so just to cover any of the root grow out that I have. So then I'll just part my hair again about an inch over, and I just repeat that process just to make sure that I'm really covering any of those roots, just in case I part my hair differently one day or like I'm wearing it up. I just really don't want any of my blonde roots to be showing. And then I just repeat this process maybe 5 more times, just continuing to part it over another inch, then going back to my other side and doing the same thing, basically just around the top of my head and a little bit down the side of my head. Okay, so once I'm done with those roots, this is where my method kind of starts to get a little bit weird. I like to dye the top layer of my hair before the bottom layer because I wear extensions most of the time and they're a bit lighter than this dye, and I don't want the bottom layer of my hair to get too much darker than the top. Usually it does anyways, but I find that when I dye the top layer first, it just helps it to be a little bit more even. So anyways, I just put the bottom half of my hair in a ponytail and kind of tie it off to the side there so it doesn't really get in the way. And then I just work in sections, so I will start with the hair framing my face on the side. So I just squeeze some dye onto my hair directly from the tube, and then I just work it in with my hands, kind of combing my fingers through it to kind of evenly disperse it. There's really no specific method that I follow here. I just apply the dye to section by section until my hair is saturated with enough of the dye, and then I take the comb every now and then and I just run it through my hair, just to make sure that there's no spots that are going to end up darker than the others. And then sometimes I'll take the applicator brush and squeeze directly onto that and then brush it onto my hair. It's kind of just, it depends on the section that I'm working on. Some areas are easier to just squeeze the dye from the tube and then rub it in with my hands. And then some sections, like towards the end of my hair, are a little bit easier to just hold in my hand and then apply the dye with the brush. So when I get the top layer covered, I'll tie it back and start working on the bottom layer now. And I just do this in exactly the same way, just working in sections, starting with the areas around my face. Since my hair is already red, and it doesn't really change too much when I apply this dye to it, I don't spend too much time worrying about the back, so I spend most of the time worrying about my roots, the top layer of my hair, and the sides of my hair, like framing my face. Of course, I do spend time to make sure that I have enough dye on the back of my hair, but I'm just saying, since my hair is pretty much already this color, just a little bit lighter, it's not going to be too noticeable if I don't get the back 100% perfectly. Honestly, I don't trust myself 100%, so most of the time I'll dye my hair at my parents' house, and I'll have my mom come up and help me when it gets to the back of my head because I can't see back there. Anyway, when the dye is applied everywhere, I just like to go in with a bottle and apply it to a few more areas just in case, especially the more hidden areas like the back and the underside of my hair, at the back of my neck since I have a lot of tiny little baby hairs that are there and they stick out when I wear my hair up. And then I just comb through everything one last time. And then I just let the dye sit on my hair for anywhere from like 30 to 45 minutes, and then I just wash it out in the shower, shampoo and condition it, obviously. And I wanted to show you guys what it looks like in the natural sunlight because it's so much brighter and so much more red than what you see in my studio lighting. So just wanted to show you guys. And there's Quinn, of course. Alright guys, so that's it for my tutorial on how I dye my hair and all of the questions that you guys had. If you have any other questions that I didn't touch on in this video, go ahead and leave me a comment down below and I will do my best to answer that. Alright guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!